If you put an apple in the water and soak it for a year, what will happen? A foreign guy did an experiment and took a whole year to shoot the whole process. The final result is even more unbelievable. He first fixed the top of the apple on the stand. The maximum limit is guaranteed to be in the middle of the container. Then pour water into the container and fill it up to completely isolate the apple from the air. Finally, in order to prevent the water from evaporating, a layer of plastic wrap was sealed on it. The shooting task began for a year. In the first 48 hours of soaking, there was almost no change in the apple. Only a few bubbles were attached to the bottom. By the third day, the bubbles disappeared. There were some accumulations on the top of the apple. By the fifth day, the water had already turned yellow. The bubbles began to fill the apple everywhere. Yellow spots also gradually appeared on the surface. From the seventh day on, the bubbles became more and more. Due to the gradual softening of the internal tissue, the top of the stand could no longer be fixed. The apple eventually came off and floated to the surface of the water. But in order to ensure the reliability of the experimental results, we still cut the plastic wrap and refixed the apple in the middle. From the 9th day on, the apple became more and more flaky. By the 11th day, the apple began to change color to yellow. There were also many white silk on the surface. By the 30th day, the whole water had completely mixed up. The position of the apple also changed again. By the 100th day, the surface of the apple appeared black spots. And as time went by, the number increased. By the 20th day, the black spots on the surface of the apple began to become more and more clear. By the 30th day, the water had already accumulated a thick layer of material. Finally, a year passed very quickly. Now, the whole glass container is filled with solid material. We slowly spread the plastic wrap on the surface. The upper layer of the water has turned dark black and is filled with a lot of white mold. The lower layer is a yellow glue. Just like jelly, it is both elastic and silky. We crushed all the material on the surface of the water. Then take out the apple in the middle. It doesn't look too rotten. And there is no smell of smelly smoke. Instead, it feels a bit like dongli. We cut it in the middle with a fruit knife. We found that the flesh inside had completely changed yellow. The seed at the core was also completely soft. Gently squeeze it with your hand to squeeze out the internal matter directly. However, after taking out the apple from the water, it only came into contact with the air for a day. It began to turn black and rot quickly.